Hey tribe, hey, happy Saturday. I'm out my front door again, just at a different spot. Tells you all, wait a minute for my hair. It's definitely different from not having all those long locks. At the same time, this hair is alive. The other hair was dead hair. So anyway, but I'm working on it. My little bunny buns have to get some waves to them. So washed it, twisted it up. So when it's time to have my little waves, and then I'm experimenting with my little cues. So and of course I have my favorite shirt, one of my two favorite shirts. This one used to be my favorite shirt, the favorite. My other favorite is Love Over Everything, which leads us into today's discussion. So yeah, just wanted to chime in after posting about Kirk Franklin and all that and Black mothers, and the thing that's heavy on my heart, along with something else that was posted about someone who did something to someone else on Larry Reed's channel. And I talked a little bit about my ex-husband, who is no longer alive. He chose to unalive himself, and which impacted our son and daughter, and my son, whether it was on purpose or not, due to self-medicating, unalived himself. And my daughter, who was the oldest, just was in the mix of all of that, and so I'll never get her back, which is understandably so, all the trauma that she went through. And it wasn't until recently that I was able to even start. Look at that little cute crab. He's so, oh, he's gone when he comes back up. But it wasn't until recently that I was even able to talk about, even understand all of that in a different way. And what it led to was love, understanding that my ex-husband, his understanding of love and my non-understanding of love, was his reason for his demise, according to his truth. And for the longest, of course, I didn't get it, didn't care to get it, had no thought of getting it. And it came up in one of my spiritual sessions back in May. And it really threw me for a loop. And the only reason why it could throw me for a loop was because I had done enough work on myself so that I can even get what love meant. And when I started looking to see what love even meant, it's like it's just somebody speeding in their boat, knowing that and the Coast Guard is right over there, knowing that they're breaking the rules. But somebody will report them, because you see all these houses. There's no way that they're not going to get reported. But anyway, that was noise you all heard. The little crab hasn't come back yet. However, It's like even with the water, the wake. See, I can't do dark water on my stand-up paddleboard. All this water around. I'm like, no ma'am, no sir. Yeah. I'll just not even. We got little crab. Go. I didn't even know they could. Look, I'm distracted. This is what's down here, but that crab crawled all the way up here. Of course, it has to be some kind of food source. But that's the same crab I saw in the water. But anyway, even when I came to even, grasp the concept of love, it wasn't even, I'm not going to stand up here. I can't stand. I feel I'm transitioning to my track workout and I cannot stand. Anyway, okay, I'm back on. So even when I got to the love part and I got to the love part and it's like, okay, love, and it just didn't line up with anything that, I knew about love. And so I kept on digging. And I think that's the one thing that anyone who's listening to my YouTubes is like, at each point I kept on digging, and the excuses that I had for myself or the blame or whatever I had for other people, it still didn't add up to my behavior. It didn't add up to my choices. It didn't add up to anything like that. And so I just kept digging. And I know that there's people like where do I fit into all of this? It's like, I'm just, for people who are finding themselves in a place where, you see all the places where you can just take a seat and sit down and be with tribe and enjoy them, and they can enjoy you, and it could be like, okay, that was who I was and this is who I am now. I just kept seeing the parts of myself that still was asking me to look deeper. And like I've said before, I just wouldn't suggest anyone. That was more than the one that was going fast. I wouldn't suggest that anyone work on themselves at the space that I've done. I don't think it's necessary. It's over 8 billion people on the planet. I could have been found my tribe. I definitely didn't have to go through everything I went through with my current partner, who for a minute, oh, that's my husband. It's not my husband. Spiritually, okay, yeah, we did that. However, when it came down to it, I was the one who said, I don't want to do that. This is what we are. Like I want to live with who I am, and that be okay. I don't want to be all this over one side spiritually and then not conforming over this side. I want to see what my life is like when I'm living with exactly what I have, and exactly what I have is a partner. And then it became like I kept pulling at the layers. I know my partner was like, this chick, and I'm like, yeah, I would have left me at the doorstep too, but you didn't, and we're still here over 6 years later. And so it's just like I kept digging because I wanted to be able to live a life that I can agree with, and that's why it led me to love, and love led me to freedom. And so when I started looking at love, I just see where it just seems like people love, they want you to love them the way that they say that you love them. It's not really, it has nothing to do with love of me. The other person who says they love me, they want it their way. And I started looking at all the relationships, and it's like all the relationships are saying the same thing. It's like that person has an idea of love and they're full tilt on making it happen. I have my idea, da 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 da, and then nothing is being real. It's like, I'm not that, I don't want that, and therefore now, like, what happened to all that love? Like, I don't get you now because what? And so when you start peeling back the layers, it's like, then why are you even using the word love? Why are you even making connections with people? Why are you even doing any of those things? Because that's not love. That's just you finding someone who is basically willing to submit to you and live life the way that you say and love that way. Or they're making some kind of trade-offs or something like that. And I'm like, I'm not trading off my life. Once I got it, I like I said, I know it was something that was really intense for my partner and I to go through it. And it looked like a whole lot of other things until I just really got down to it. It's just like, I just don't see myself this way. I don't see myself this way. I see the flaws of everything that's built on this kind of supposed love situation, and it just doesn't work for me. And so at that point, then I was just going through it. Really, just everything about my life started coming apart. So how does that tie back into Kirk Franklin? It's like love. It's like my children who are grown not being able to talk to me and tell me what their truth was and their experience is. And I have zero room for it because I'm trying to I say I love my children. I can't listen to my children because they have a different opinion of me. Am I so fragile that I can't listen to my children who I say I love speak to me in a way that I don't agree with, or that I know that I did, and now I'm just hearing it from their side and their experience. So that's the thing that gets to me when, like I said, I'm just for the people who are just, you looked at yourself and you saw yourself coming up short. And instead of hiding yourself in being a preacher or a prophetess or some other kind of Reiki master or some other kind of spiritual person where, people look up for you. In my tribe, I'm Gigi. And so people look up to me in a certain way. And I could have rested in that. I was getting so much love. Once I got settled into the tribe, I was getting so much love and stuff. And then I just, like I said, the Princess and the Pea, I've mentioned that in several videos. I just couldn't rest in that space. And of course, all those years ago, I didn't know that it was the love is this space that I'm in now that I was seeking. So I wasn't even aware of this kind of thing existing. Now it's the fullness of it that I see. It's just, man, when you get it and you see the selfishness in yourself, to where I want a person to love me the way that I want to be loved, and I want life to go the way that I want to go, and I want to go using this person. That's what it comes down to. And whether you want to call a spade, I'm a spade caller. And I'm just like, it's impossible. I don't see life the way you do. I don't want life the way you do. Even if I'm living the same life and you came to me and said, like, that's one of the things that was hard for me with my partner, which was, actually during the, okay, we both love each other and we're existing in the same space. And in this same space, it's like, hey, it's like, well, why are you with me? Why are you with me? And then you hear why the person's with you. You're like, hell no, I'm not even that person. I don't think that way. That's unsaid. I wouldn't even do that. That's dumb. No, and it's like people have their own thing going on, and it's like, okay, that's fine. Once I got okay with that, it's just like, as long as what I'm being, what love is, and my understanding of love is, and my understanding of love is the space that you have in love. It's the freedom that you have in love, and that person still loves you. And I had a situation happen with a really, really, I can't even call this person a friend, they're family. And we were just talking, and I won't tell too many things, but when the issue of love came up and they felt like they weren't getting what they should get, but they still love this person, and it was like, well, the person that you love it can't possibly be aware of what you're saying because they're too young. And even I didn't get this. Diamonds 8 was the one who explained it to me, because of the ages of my daughters and just the different things that I'm saying. She's like, baby, they can't even hear you. They can't understand you. Give them another 10 years. I'm like, 10 years? You know how old they'll be? It's like, exactly. Leave them alone and go live your life. Or be okay, understand where people are if you still choose to love them. And that's what I see people are missing. It's like, if you love that person, and that person, like, think of it, I used to say that a long time ago, think of it as the person is in a coma and they can't give you anything back, and you just love them. You come to the hospital, you take care of them, you bathe them, you massage them, you move their arms and legs, you do all that so they don't get bed sores. I mean, you're basically there around the clock. If you work from home, you can work from the hospital. I mean, you're just there. You're not getting nothing back. You just love that person. What would you be doing? Would you be out cheated? Would you? And that just goes all the way around. It's for mothers who say they love their children, like, what was happening with Kirk Franklin. It's like, what was going on that was so important in her life at that age that she had to walk out the door with her husband in the middle of that type of situation, with Kirk? And what was going on in her life that 2 DNA tests she can't say, And it's like, it is something when your children are in your life after you've made some tough decisions. I've made some tough decisions. I mean, I haven't had, I've done the unalive thing. We didn't have Plan B back then. And I've done that once. And, I was able to come to a different understanding of that during a spiritual session that I had. At the same time, it's like, it's just some things that you don't have to come face to face with when you're having children and doing those kind of things. And then at the other times there are. And these are just the choices that you made for the children that you made. And it's like, what is your child asking for? They're just asking for you to hear them, to listen to them, to whatever. And now, one of my daughters, she says some things about her place as compared to my other 2 daughters, and I'd be like, yeah, no, that's not. And she'll just be going on and on like it's it, and I'm just like, I'm okay with you telling your experience. Like, this is what I experienced. This is what you did with my sisters. You bought them 2 new pair of shoes and you only bought me 1. And that's why I say you love them more. And I can be like, okay, I'm with you on I did buy 2 pair of shoes, and I'm with you on your truth about what that meant. However, when you're telling me what I thought and feel about them over you, I'm like, it doesn't exist. I have no capability of doing, loving one of my children over than the other. I have 3. I love all 3 equally. I would save all 3 of them. I would give my life for all 3 of them. Like, I'm not looking and being like, "Woo, baby." I'm not gonna say that one, because that one can be like, it's all 3. I would be saving all 3, and they're more important than me. My children are everything to me. My grandchildren are more important than my children. That's true. If it came down to saving my grandchildren or my children, I would save the grandchildren. I mean, and that goes with grown-ups have had their time to live. The babies don't. So I go for the babies. I mean, it's just like when you hear the Kirk Franklin thing, just think about, I'm only coming from a place of love. I'm just saying that it's embarrassing to be me and know that I was trash for so long, and that it's taken this long for me even to get to this space. I'm like, man, what if I was this when I was 30? Even with my current partner, I had to go through like a grieving thing. I'm just like, why didn't I got married at 18. It's like, why didn't I marry this person at 18? Why didn't I meet him? Why didn't I marry him? I still want my kids, the 3 kids I have and the grandkids I have. I still want them. I know that's something that's impossible to do. It's just when you meet someone and you're like, why wasn't I aware enough? Why wasn't I placed in this person's life at this time? And then it's like, however we have now and where we are now, with everything that's that we've done to grow, let's just be good with each other now. And so that's what I do now. It's like, let's be good to each other now. And with my kids, when I'm listening to them, I was shocked when my kids were like, they will spank their kids. I'm like, what? All this work I did to tell you all the spanking was wrong, and you spank. And they're like, because I'm a mom and I know not to hurt my kids when I spank them, crazy woman. That was you. That wasn't us. And I'm shocked. My thing is going to bed for 3 days. I could be in bed for 3 days and then I have to get up. I can go 3 days without a shower, 3 days with eating raggedy, 3 days in a bed. But I got to get up on that 4th day or I have to go to the hospital. I say that, but that's just like my limit. I don't go past 3 days. Now I'm to the point where I don't even need any days. With this new understanding about love, it's like I don't need any time. It's like, why am I wasting time on what? I do still feel it. I just acknowledge that I'm feeling some kind of way about something that's not in my control and that's none of my business. And human beings are going to live by what they see and know for themselves. They're never going to live by what I know and I've experienced and I learned, and I wouldn't even do that myself. And that's the biggest thing with love and those kind of things that I uncovered. It's just like, I'm never going to see life the way that you see it for me to follow you or to do something you're supposed to do, and I'm not supposed to. And that's the freedom that I want, that I share when I'm talking to my children. I'm just like, okay, yeah, I'm mom. Just think of those as 2 letters of the alphabet. They have no more meaning than just 2 letters of the alphabet, because at the end of the day, you are more important, and who you are and how you see life, that's what's most important, because that's where your base is going to come from. And if you unset somebody with their base, you unset them, and it's just like you're setting your kids adrift. It's like nothing is more important than what that person wants for themselves and what that person sees as true. That's what love is. And the other mistake I was making was I was living by the golden rule versus the platinum rule. And I'm telling you, as soon as I started living by the platinum rule, which was like maybe 3 weeks or 4 weeks ago, when it really just dropped into my soul, was it was just so freeing. Because I mean, the funny thing is, it's just the towels. I'm telling you all. I just went in and picked up one of the black towels off the ground, and I just felt so sad. This is just my own part of how I'm experiencing it. I just know that my partner is like, okay, Storm, you know, put all this into buying me 7 black towels. She wants a beach towel, a bath towel, the smaller towel, and then the bath cloth. She wants to change them every day. Got the dark blue ones, the black ones. Here he goes, and he's building his gym, and he just sits the weights out and sprays all this stuff. And I'm like, what are you doing? It's the towels, it's the towels, it's the towels. And it's like, I don't care about no towels, woman. You know, and then I'm sitting there, and the poor man is like, okay, I'm not gonna upset her. That Virgo, she's so sensitive. And then when it gets down to it, yeah, that's the golden rule. Do unto others like you would have them do unto you. And on top of that, when I first moved here, he just had beautiful lavender towel sets for me, and they were beautiful. And he had beautiful towel sets for the other person in the house. It was just beautiful. And then his towel sets. And so I grew up that way, so that was something that I liked. And my mom bought us these beautiful beach towels, and we each had our own beach towel, and plus we had the real huge towels and stuff like that, and real huge thick J.C. Penney. Back then, J.C. Penney's was the Macy's and the Dillards, and so the towel was still sitting on the floor. The weights were gone, all that. And I had told him, I said, love, is fine. It's your towels. I can buy some more towels. All you do, you know, head of our family, all you do to take care of us, I'll just buy more damn towels. Like, you know, like, okay. But he still doesn't want to offend me. However, because I am aware of the platinum rule, I'm just like, the things that I want to do for him, he doesn't want or need. And I was holding on to those in a way that was making our life so uncomfortable. And that's what I learned about myself, by that digging of myself, by that love. It's like, if I really say I love him, then love him the platinum way. Love him the way that he wants to be loved. Don't love him the golden rule, the way that I would want to be loved, because that does nothing for him, you know? So I picked up the towel, folded it up, since now it's going to be has all those chemicals on it. Now it's going to be just a work towel. I just folded it up and put it in the closet with his little spray stuff. And, as a way to just letting him know it's okay. Like, I'm okay. I'm not going to be in the bed for like 3 days because you didn't do that with the towel. And I've even just left him alone. When I changed the towels, I'm like, the platinum rule is just so much better. And that just leads me back to my ex-husband, who unalived himself. And it's like, it's just nothing special about me that anyone should hang on to because I'm not in their life. Even my kids are nothing. It's just nothing. I don't see life that way. I don't see you as special, and I definitely don't see me as special. What's special to me is me. I'm special, and what's important is that if you don't treat me like I want to be treated, you don't even have to worry about it. You don't have to do nothing. You don't have to do nothing. If you're not treating me like I want to be treated, don't worry about it. Because I don't go by the titles. Mother, father, sister, brother, siblings, aunties, uncles, anybody, boss, whatever. And now, I don't even talk. I don't have to talk. It's just like, Storm's not here. Yeah, she's not here for a reason. Because it's like, man, you're the way you see life isn't the way I see life, and it's over 8 billion people on the planet, and I've already experienced you enough to know that you are just walking out and living your way, and I have no intention or need to live or be that way or be under someone who lives and does that. Now, I will talk to people that I love. I also talk to people now in a way that I'm listening. You know, the old thing where they say, you know, when people tell you who they are, show you who they are, believe them. I never did. You know, I always thought that you can love enough, this enough, that enough, talk enough. Everyone knows I talk too much. And that's never true. And it's like an infringement. Why do I need to talk you out of the way that you see life, experience life, feel life, want life? It's just nothing. It's nothing going on in my life or anyone else's life where they've experienced life in a way that's more than my life that I should listen to you. It's just no one on this planet that I listen to in that way at the expense of yourself. It's like I gotta take a pause from all the information that I've been indoctrinated to or come across or interpreted or whatever I've done. I gotta take a minute. I'm asking for a minute so I can see how the world really works. And then the other thing is, like, you gotta be ready to handle your own life according to what you believe and what you see. It's like no one needs to pay for my life because I believe life works this way. Okay, if you believe life works this way, then please please go be about your business. It's like not living off another person, just trusting yourself and being like, okay, yeah, I got it. I mean, the best advice I got, one of the advice I got earlier on that I didn't know how to take was from my sister-in-law. This is from another husband I was married to. And she was like, take your 3 children, go live in a shelter, and they'll eventually give you an apartment and you can work your way up and do whatever, and you go on without my brother. That was the best advice. Going home 20 times like I did didn't help. Going back to that same husband a million times didn't help. What would have helped is to cut off all ties except for go through the regular channels to for child support and visitation. Now, I don't believe in child support. I always believe in the kids seeing their dad a healthy way. We're not even going to get into the dumbness about unhealthy ways. However, he wasn't that kind of person because I never did the child support thing on him. And I didn't want to do it during the divorce. The judge made me do it. Like, you can't get divorced without this child support piece. And he didn't pay it anyway. And you can still see the kids, who cares? I don't care. I just need to be away from you. I need to be unconnected to you. You pick these kids up at McDonald's, bring them back. I don't even care. We don't have to speak. It just doesn't make no difference because once I'm done, I'm done. It didn't go that way. It was just a bunch of craziness. And so from decades later, from me having to sleep in my car, from me having to drive DoorDash and then get enough money to go to the hotel, to rent the room for just that night and get up early in the morning and go work for corporate and have my DoorDash uniform in the car and then change clothes and go DoorDash as soon as I got off work and sleep in my car and get a hotel. I did that until I was able to get enough money up to where I could, rent the room for a month. And then from there, I saved up enough money until I could go on Craigslist, and I found someone to rent an apartment to who was willing to, let me do payments on the deposit. And it all just worked out until I was able to get myself into an apartment of my own. And all of that took, let's see, I got evicted in November, Thanksgiving. And then I got my own apartment in July. Yeah, because it was a July 4th weekend. So, yeah, working 2 jobs, sleeping in my car. My sister did help me out. One time she sent me some money, $66, so I could rent a room that night, and then I paid it back. I used to sleep in my car behind gated apartment buildings. I go into there wherever I had gone for my DoorDash, and then I would later on that night go sleep up under a blanket so no one could see. And I just made it work, and that was the best way for me, because I didn't see life the way my mother saw it or my siblings saw it, and they were helping me out financially, and it was just keeping me on the hamster wheel. And I didn't see nothing wrong with my children being with their father if I wasn't taking care of them. And hell, he wasn't helping me. I mean, I had a good setup. I said, hey, I got a good setup. This is what I need. If you would just help me with this part. He says, yeah, sure, I will. And he didn't. And then when I called him, I said, hey, you said you would help me. He says, that's you being stupid. You shouldn't have been stupid. And I knew that. I knew that when I gave him a chance. However, that's my kid's father. So I just, that's where I allowed myself to be stupid at. And even today, I wouldn't do anything different. I wouldn't do anything different because I'm not understanding how to do. I still feel like I'm doing something to my children's father, and that's just something I'm not going to do. The one thing I would do different is I wouldn't get back with him. I would go live and get on assistance till I got my own place, and I would just build myself back up. And I did that anyway. I wound up going to college, finished my degree in 2 years instead of 4. So those things I would do different, just not, putting him on child support or even caring what comes out his mouth. Here's us. Look at that tugboat. It's one in the front, see? And then one on the side pushing it. That's so cool. I haven't seen that before. But yeah, it just makes I'm getting ready to wrap it up. It just makes such a difference to just know myself, that I took the time to just understand myself. Even when people were questioning me, I'm just like, this is the princess and the pea. Something just doesn't feel right. And you know what feels right about my life? What my life is now. Right now, today, that's what feels right. Well, okay, I'm not feeling well because I'm getting ready to transition to doing track. And so whenever I do that, it's like I go through this mental, spiritual, emotional shift, which I understand now is just like switching gears. If you can think about the cogs and the gears and stuff, or the transformers. So that's what I know that I do to get ready for, what needs to be done. And then to like lock in on my I know for this period of time. For what I'm going to do is going to take a lot. Well, I say a lot. It's going to take a lot. I mean, I like that kind of stuff. And then I'm also looking to change careers all at the same time, which is what I do. Everything at the same time. That's how I like it. That's how I like to do it. That's not stressful. That's not stressful for me. And at the same time is with my new understanding of love. It just frees me. It frees the people that I'm around. Thankfully, that we no longer have to go through that type of stuff. And for those black mothers who are trash, and just let your kids call you trash. Look, I'll even open myself up, although I don't like to. If you talk dumb, I'm gonna tell you that you're dumb. I can listen to you vent. However, like we used to do, it's like, what was your part in it? I'll listen to you. You have to have the, what's your part in it? You have to have that part. or check yourself into the hospital, or go talk to the friends where that matters, However, it's just, man, it's like you're not gonna understand this level of love with people until you walk in it. And I struggled for a minute, and thankfully for my sister, my best friend, when she said, well, you might as well say it because you're saying it, because it's all in there and you can see it on your face even though you're not saying it. And so, I went and looked at it, and I was like, I realized I didn't need to say it. I don't need to say that kind of stuff. I don't need to hold it, and it doesn't need to be like anywhere in my, in my soul, in my body. It doesn't need to be anywhere in here. And so that was back in March, and it took all the way to, like I said, about a month ago, when the platinum rule just was planted and sprouted up. Like, you see that tree of life, that's what's in here for the platinum rule. It just makes like all understanding. It for me, it makes life make sense. And then also, love isn't lost. Love isn't neglect. Love isn't without. The only thing that's happening is oh, can you all hear it? There's the party boats. Love isn't that. It's only that if you're not knowing yourself, and if you're still feeling that. From what I've experienced, it's like you just got to go in and do some more work. It's like when things come up in me now, I immediately know where it's coming from. I'm trying to have something with a person that I'm not supposed to have. I'm trying to be something or do something with a person I'm not supposed to, and it does come up. I mean, like my partner is in his crush zone for his workout right now, and that means we spend less time together because of what he's on. And so I remind myself, I'm just like, dude, he asked for this space to be able to crush, because this is what works for him. And I'm like, yep, okay. When those feelings start arising, because he does spoil me, and he would give me my way if I asked for it, I'm just like, that's not love. I'm responsible for... Oh, there's a sheriff book. I'm responsible for maintaining the love and the life that I know. That's what I'm responsible for. And, oh, look, it's the moon, too. The moon. And behind me, the sun setting. That's so cool. So, sheriff boat. I'm responsible for that. I'm responsible for that. And so, as I'm learning in it, the lessons aren't taking as long, because I'm really bought and sold in it. And what makes me bought and sold in it is that I really see my I see who I am. I know who I am. And I'm just not going to participate in a way of life that's not true for me. And I get to do that. I get to do and live my life how I want. And people automatically won't be sticking to you. I watched it. It's like if you keep your mouth shut, you don't say things, you don't participate in stuff you know you're not supposed to, those people go on about their business. It's not that you have to stop talking to them. They will not pick up on you at all, and they'll just go and do something else. And then when that happens, just let it happen. Be glad that it happened. And it happens so smooth. And it's like you're just really just being on your own path. You're just living your own truth, and it's not anything for anyone else. It's just for you. It's not for anyone else. And I have zero expectations of someone understanding me or what I'm doing or this or that. They don't have to. I talk to people, like I share with my sister. We talk about when we need to hashtag lean in, when we're being hashtag Kia. Now mine is hashtag platinum rule versus golden rule, stuff like that. We talk about stuff like that. And at different times, people would be like, like, what is it? what is it about you? And it's like, oh, I saw this about myself, you know. Like when I go get my cryo, they're like, oh, okay, you want some music? Want this? They're like, no, you're the one who doesn't want. I'm like, yeah, no, I just like to go in there at minus 220 degrees for 3 minutes and sit in there and just hear what I think about myself, hear what I think about what I'm thinking about, you know. And it's like to just, you know, think about how much do you just hear your own voice, that anything that you're doing in your day is strictly because of you, not because how you were treated, not because of trauma in your life, not because your partner says so, your kids said so, your boss said so, society says so. How much do you get to just be yourself and hear your own voice and operate off that, you know? It's just really, it's a different space. I like being in that. I like being in that space, and I'm really happy about it because, of course, we're going to build our own tribe and our wife and stuff like that. And at different points, it's like, why, you know, why isn't, and it's, now it's just like where we are now. I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm really glad we didn't build on that. I mean, I guess, I don't know if it would have worked out. I mean, whatever. I'm just glad it didn't, you know, that we're able to, each of us, be in this good space that we're in, and that we have the level of understanding independently and together that we have of each other. And then, of course, it's the rebuilding also, because, you know, I tore up my whole foundation, and I don't allow anyone to build on it now. You know, I don't allow anything to build on it. This is mine. You have to figure out your own. And if that includes me, okay. If it doesn't, okay. Like, it's just okay. There's over 8 billion people on the planet. You should find your own tribe. You should be with your own people. And that's what people don't understand. Like my ex-husband who unalived himself, I'm just like, what was going on that you just couldn't have a side piece, or you just couldn't just, we have a son and daughter, just raise them and be good to them and show them love. What is it that you weren't getting what you want, but you had me there, just didn't have me the way you wanted, and we still couldn't have been a family, and you still didn't just run the family, and you just didn't hang in. Hell, who knows? It would have never caught on, I know, because I wasn't there, but what if it would have, you know? And it's like, you made me more important than yourself, so I have the compassion of that comes, you know, when someone chooses that route for themselves. At the same time, the question is, why didn't you love yourself more than you love me? And like, I wasn't worth it. No one's worth you not being here because of them, you know? Is like, what couldn't you let go of that you understood about me that you would decide to not choose yourself? And so that's a painful thing. It's not my thing. I would have never wanted him to do that. He was a beautiful, loving, kind person inside and out. A great father. And man, it's just, I mean, all I can say, I'm getting ready to go get some dinner and take my supplements. All I can say is, you're your best thing, Septa. That's from Beloved with Oprah Winfrey and Tommy Glover, or whatever his name is, the Glover guy. And you're your best thing. And you got to get to that point where you're your best thing. So that's what I offer the Black mothers of the 85% who find themselves in the position that I found myself. You know, it's embarrassing, it's humiliating. You know, it was hard for a long time for me to even hold my head up to my children, to look them in the eye, to not feel terrible, to even be around them, and then other things, and you know, that I've done and had to come face to face with. And it's been hard to even like say that I deserve to hold my head up, that I deserve love and kindness and grace and mercy and all these different kind of things, that I even deserve a life. And that's why I'm not insistent about making a life with people I've hurt. It's like when you've hurt people and damaged people and done that to them, it's not healthy for you to want anything from them. I mean, bless God, you just took everything from them. Now you want them to not be available to themselves to give you the right justice that they should when you've been trash. And so, go get the help, go get the counseling, go get this, go get that. I mean, it's going to be a tough journey. It just doesn't have to be as tough if you jump in and get help early. And then even with that, like I said, even there's just times when, man, it just hits me full in the face. It just was no excuse for who I was. And, some of those days I'll wake up and feel that. And at the same time, then I got to ask myself, I'm like, okay, what do you want to do about it? Is that how you want to live? Or do you want to just be like, okay, you just acknowledge it. Yeah, that's true. And then this person right here is true. So this person is true. Dope soul. This person is true. And then I'm just available to my kids and my grandkids. Like I said, I talked to my grandson about his mother, and he doesn't hold back. And I'm so glad. I'm like, wow, look at that you could just say that. And even though it's painful to say things about your parent or what they weren't, it's also freeing. Like for me and my mom, I mean, I love my mom. And I have I don't want a relationship with her like I would have wanted. I don't want that. I like what we have now. I like that we're spiritually connected. I just love how powerful she is in her spiritual self. And then she's so tiny. I like taking care of her and, stuff like that. So I just have my own little, happy relationship going on with my mom. And it can't be nothing else. We can't have anything else with each other. We'll never have anything else with each other. And although that was hard for her to hear, she's just like, well, it's hard. Let me get used to it. And I'm just like, get used to what? Get used to us being better with each other? Oh my God. But I'm like, okay. It's so funny. It's like, this is the best. And you're fighting the best. However, you can never have the old. So it's either this or nothing, which I'm okay with too. It's just shocking how when you're the best with someone, they don't want you. See, that's why you got to understand yourself and know yourself, because you wouldn't be able to have this. And I'm just like, I'm good with that. And that's what makes my relationship with my partner so good, is that I'm good with not having him. I'm good with not having our life. I'm good if he stays. I'm good if he goes. I mean, because that shows that he's choosing himself, and he's doing exactly what I'm doing now. I'm choosing myself, and I'm not choosing him to stay. It's nothing about me being with him that involves like what he does. This is the person that I choose to love. This is the person that I enjoy loving. And I'll enjoy it as long as he's in my space. And then when he's not in my space, I'm still going to love him. I'm not going to go try to be in his space. I'm not going to try to talk and say, oh, we should stay together, do this and that. I'm just going to be like, what does it take for us to, separate and go our own ways? Because this has run its course. And I used to, it makes so much sense now, because back in the day, I used to hate two things. One of my other best friends used to say, say the seasons, people are with you for a season. And because I loved him so much, I wanted it to not be that, but life is that. And then the other one was what one of the people I worked for in the running store used to say, it is what it is. And I hated that. So of course the two phrases that I hated is like something in me was saying, there's your truth store, and grab onto it. That was like 20 some years ago. If I would have grabbed onto it then, where would I be now? So, no, I'm just kidding. I'm in a great place now. I love my life. I love the choices I made for my life. And I just wanted you all to know that part of it, in case anybody was struggling with the Kirk Franklin stuff, because it really just is about love. And then I talk straight, no chaser. It is going to harm. My words are going to harm. At the same time, as you get to know yourself, you may be able to see where, yeah, that hurt, you know, like how people complain about Kevin Samuels and stuff like that. At the same time, it was true. And I wouldn't have heard it, and I still would be being hurtful to other people if I didn't just go ahead and be offended and then ask myself why I was offended and then start the work. Because that's the thing. It's like with all these things going on, it's just so much more. It's like that's the moment that your spiritual self becomes awake, and it's never about the other person. You become awake and the scales drop from your eyes, and you know, for some reason people see it and go to the stuff that doesn't suit them, that goes more along for the trauma. However, the other side of them, which I'm just bringing, is that, hey, once the scales are lifted from your eyes, you'll start seeing people who can help you. And that's even if your scales come from your eyes at 9 months old, 6 months old, 1 year old, this age. It'll be there, and you'll be guided until you can guide yourself. It doesn't have to take this long. It doesn't have to hurt this bad. It doesn't have to keep on going. And it's like when you understand that you come awake at your moment of that intersection, and you don't remember that you agreed. Your soul needed that experience. Your soul is ready to come online. That's all that's happening. It's like your physical self believes that it's the truth. And so if your physical self believing that it's the truth, it continues to want to be in charge. And it's like, no, it's time for my soul to come up. Like Sister Myra says, you can look her up. If you go to my YouTube, you'll see all my playlists, and Sister Myra, along with Brother Panic, is one of my playlists, and Black Magic. And it's like, that's when it's time for you to come. And both can't do it at the same time. You got your 180 that's the physical, and your 180 that's the spiritual. And that's when your spiritual, your true self comes online, and then you start walking it out. And I don't know how it can happen like that way. I just know it can happen. I know that my route was the long route, the hard head soft behind. Went through a bunch of iterations of things. However, you know, that's what I'm sharing. It's like it doesn't have to be that way. You know, once you become aware of yourself, then you can choose differently. You can take there's the moon. I'm getting ready to go. But that's when you can take control of what you want for yourself, and then, you know, start your transition. And so anyway, but those are things like you have to figure out yourself. I'm getting ready to go. I've enjoyed talking with you all. Went almost an hour. Wow. Okay. Well, I feel good about it. I hope you all feel good about it too. And catch you all again on another day.